Guys, we've covered a lot today. Does anybody else have any more questions on something more direct that I can answer for them?
Yes, Aaron. I'm a little bit confused. Can you explain PreQual versus PreApproval? I know you touched on that earlier.
Sure.
I always want to explain that to my buyers also.
Sure. Basically, the definition that I use for it, that I think the difference between a prequalification and a preapproval is, prequalification is just a very brief kind of snapshot picture, a brief conversation, typically done just over the phone with the client. And I think, as everybody's aware, nowadays we have to get a lot more deeper into transactions. Every transaction is going to be involving cash, credit, income, job stability, and also the property itself. So a prequal is basically just a quick conversation where typically credit is pulled. They're looking at the credit report. They're not going in too deeply to the credit. They're asking some few basic questions. How long have you worked at your job? What's your income, etc. Now, pre-approval, which should be done every time before you're taking a client out shopping with you for homes, is that client's going to meet belly to belly, face to face with the loan officer. They're going to bring actual documentation to show how long they've been employed at their job, what their actual income is, what their asset situations look like. And also, you're going to want to review their credit report with them, just because a credit score might be, the score itself might actually be okay for funding. You also want to go in deeply in there. If there have been any late payments, you're going to have to be able to explain those to an underwriter. So it's a good thing to do all that up front. That's basically the difference between a pre-approval and pre-qual. Pre-qual is a quick little kind of snapshot of the overall picture. A pre-approval is you're going in a little bit, actually a lot more deeper with the client, and the client's actually bringing you documentation to be able to show and prove their ability to obtain financing. Any other questions?
I know you probably don't get involved with this, but what about like if you have an investor and he's asking for cash? And one other thing I want to, if you don't mind me asking two questions, is the flipping rule, is that pretty much out with both Fannie Mae and FHA? Does an investor have to wait 90 days in order to flip, or a buyer have to wait 90 days before he can buy it?
No, FHA actually of 2010, February of 2010, they waived their anti-flipping rule. Typically with FHA, any purchase that's been done and it's on a new title and hasn't changed hands within 90 days, it's considered a flip. FHA has waived that rule, and they also extended that rule in February of this year, February of 2011. Basically, the biggest requirements that investors, and when I say investors, are the actual banks on Wall Street that are going to buy those loans. Their biggest thing with FHA is they want to protect the borrower. So they're going to typically require 2 full appraisals from different appraisals, and they're also going to require a full, a complete, I apologize, I just went blank. They're going to not only have 2 full appraisals done, but they're also going to want a full inspection done as well before the loan's going to close escrow. Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac are a little bit tighter with their flip guidelines right now as well with that. So, any other questions? All right, guys. Thank you very much for having me here today. If anybody has any questions, I can be reached at Summit Funding. My name is Aaron Dehart, 775-824-3640. I also have a blog, the NevadaMortgageReports.com. You could also email me at adhart, that's ADDHART, @summitfunding.net. Thanks a lot for having me, guys. Bye-bye.